We will begin with the International Civil Liberties Monitoring Group. So, Mr. McSorley, you may begin whenever you're ready. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Senator, and thank you, honorable senators, for inviting me to speak to you today on behalf of the International Civil Liberties Monitoring Group in regards to Bill S7. To begin, I'd like to make clear that we find the central provisions of this bill, the creation of a new threshold of reasonable general concern in order to search personal digital devices at the border, deeply worrisome, and we are strongly opposed to its adoption. In the next few minutes, I will make clear why we are opposed and propose an alternative. I'd also like to mention right away that, similar to, I believe, my other colleagues who will be speaking today, that there are parts of this bill that deserve, that there are other parts of this bill that deserve examination, and I hope that they can be raised later on during our discussion today. Every day, tens of thousands, and in pre-COVID times, hundreds of thousands of Canadians and foreign travelers enter this country. Most of them will be carrying a cell phone, laptop, tablet, smartwatch, or other personal digital device. Many will be carrying multiple devices. All of these devices carry troves of intimate information about the individual person, from health to financial to personal records. They also carry intimate information about the people in our lives, our family, friends, colleagues, and more. If any devices carry a reasonable expectation of privacy, these do, much more so than a suitcase, purse, or other piece of luggage. The courts have recognized this, both in the Alberta Court of Appeal decision in RV Canfield, but also in a recent Ontario Superior Court decision, and even in a 2021 immigration decision. What the courts have told us is clear. These devices cannot be searched without a reason. The government solution is the creation of the novel threshold of reasonable general concern. As you'll hear from my other colleagues today, I'm sure, this proposed threshold is unacceptable for several reasons. And we agree largely with the concerns that others have laid out so far in their public statements and in written documents, as well as in briefs that we know will be coming to the committee. We are expected to believe that our reasonable general concern will be based on specific objective criteria, when the wording of the threshold indicates the exact opposite. At the same time, we are told that this new threshold will help codify the policies CBSA agents have already been following, and what the courts have rejected as not meeting an adequate standard. Why should we be worried? On Monday, several senators raised concerns about racial and religious profiling, including speaking powerfully about their own experiences at the border. Our coalition-specific mandate is around the impacts of anti-terrorism and national security on civil liberties in Canada. What we have documented over the past 20 years reflects the same problems. People from specific countries, religions, ancestries, and races face greater profiling at the border. This is especially true for Muslims and people believed to be Muslim. And we see how these prejudices are tried to be justified. Pro-democracy activists from Egypt are declared security risks by Canadian border agents because they are affiliated with a Muslim political party. A PhD student is told their secondary screening is because they are from Somalia, a predominantly Muslim country. Reports from Muslim Canadians of back-to-back, quote-unquote, random searches, while seeing fellow white travelers wave through, or of being asked at length about their religious and political views, clearly demonstrate the problem. A reasonable general concern threshold will not ensure that those who are already bearing the brunt of profiling at the border have their privacy rights protected in regards to searches of their digital devices. Instead, it will simply make it more acceptable. What is the solution? It's already found in the law. While not perfect, reasonable suspicion sets a known standard with known requirements to justify a search. On Monday, you heard arguments that the search of a cell phone does not meet the same level as a strip search. However, reasonable suspicion is not restricted to strip searches. It is also the threshold for searching mail. Like many others, I suspect, I receive very little letter mail these days. Most of what would have been sent by post, including across the border, is now stored locally on my phone and my laptop. Why should we not use a standard that we already know? That is what a report from the Ethics and Privacy Committee from the other place has suggested, as well as what the Office of the Privacy Commissioner of Canada has said. In closing, we have asked to be reassured that regulations and after-the-fact complaints and review will help ensure that this new threshold does not run roughshod over our rights. We disagree. Regulations are adopted under less scrutiny than a law and can be changed more easily. Complaints and review place a burden on those impacted to work to fix the system, after already having to go through a stressful, unacceptable, and often demeaning process at the border. Instead, it is important that the law meets a standard that will protect the rights of Canadians and other travelers, and that after the fact review will be used to ensure it is doing that job. Thank you very much, and I look forward to your questions.